Mom, shut up, I'm starting the thing! Is this recording? Oh. Hey, what's up, and welcome to the first ever episode of I Don't Know a Thing. Get it? Because my name's Noah, and I'm an idiot. This is a show where I'm going to talk about sports, culture, media, news, my mental health, everything in between. I'm not really sure if this is a YouTube series, a vlog, or a podcast, but whatever it is, be sure to listen, or watch, or stream, or like, or hashtag, or TikTok, swipe right, whatever the youths do. There's a lot going on in the world of sports and the world in general right now, and it may seem hard to follow everything. I know it has been for me. So what I'm going to do is give you guys a couple of the big stories that I think are important and tell you about them. And if you disagree and think they're not important, well, then you can make your own YouTube podcast show thing and tell me why I'm wrong. Or comment. After the big stories, I'm going to put my glasses on and give you guys a couple of my sports bets of the week. Some locks. Not those locks. Those locks. Some underdogs, and one where I say f*** it. Am I allowed to curse? Yeah? Nope. And one where I say screw it and take a guess. Then I'll end the show with a rant, most likely about Philly sports, but it could be something else, maybe national news that I just need to get off my mind. As you may or may not be able to see on my hat, I did actually major in sports journalism, so I somewhat know what I'm doing. Then how come you still don't have a job? Because it's a difficult market right now, I'm trying! Alright, well after way too long of an intro, let's just get right into it. We'll start with the NBA and some of the incredible play that we're seeing in the bubble. And my first tip of the cap goes to Tyler Hero, who exploded for 37 points, draining threes and stealing hearts left and right. It blows my mind that this kid is not one, not two. Nope, he's two. Not one, but two full years younger than me, and he's cashing out in the NBA playoffs while I'm 22 making videos in my parents' basement. It is a shame that this would have been the wildest night of his life in Miami. Because of the bubble, it's just a normal night for him, stocking shelves for Jimmy Butler's coffee company. The Heat's 112-109 win gives them the ever-daunting 3-1 lead over the Celtics. But if this bubble has shown us anything, it's that a 3-1 lead can't be trusted. And the Celtics have the skill and the heart to pull it out. Although if Tyler Hero keeps shooting like that, the Celtics can kiss their championship dreams and probably their girlfriends goodbye. Speaking of 3-1 comebacks, Nikola, Flip-Flops Jokic, and Jamal Murray have been there and done that twice, and are looking to do it again. And it almost seems like the Lakers are daring them to. Thursday night, the Lakers took the 3-1 lead with AD and LeBron combining for 60 points and getting the 114-108 win. Jamal Murray was being his typical self, making acrobatic shot after acrobatic shot. I swear he just jumps and does 360s for no reason. I think jumpers are too easy for him. A layup? Never heard of her. And his buddy Jokic got into foul trouble and only played limited minutes in the fourth and only tallied up 16 points. The Lakers now take the commanding lead over the Nuggets, but they have them right where they want them. Do I have any reason to believe the Lakers and LeBron will blow a 3-1 lead? No. But do I have any reason to doubt the Nuggets can pull off the impossible in this Orlando bubble of craziness? Also no. My common sense tells me the Lakers. But, as Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, once said, blubber nuggets, they're chewy. Now let's talk about the other basketball bubble. The Connecticut Sun were looking to take the lead on the Las Vegas Aces, and man was this a good one. Asia Wilson led the way for the Aces with 20 points, but it was Alyssa Thomas of the Sun who led all scorers and dominated with 23. Thomas was initially ruled out of Thursday's game. Thomas was initially ruled out of Thursday's game with a shoulder injury, but played through it and balled out. Yesterday, my shoulder was hurting me, so I didn't leave my bed for the entire day. Second tip of the cap. The Aces were trying to make a last-second push, but Breonna January came up with a clutch charge in the paint with just 1:01 to go. I think we all can agree winter's the worst season, but I'm starting to become a big fan of January. The 7th-seeded Sun pulled out the win 77-68 and are up 2-1 in the series. It does not look like we're going to see an upset on the other side of the semis. The second-ranked Seattle Storm. What's with all the alliteration? Who wrote this thing? The second-ranked Seattle Storm took the Minnesota Lynx down with ease Thursday night, 89-79. The Storm had control and the lead for most of the game, and we're getting lots of players involved on offense, with Jewel Lloyd leading the way with 20. Damiris Dantas did her best with 23 points, but the Lynx just seemed to be outmatched. Let's see if Minnesota can borrow some of the Nuggets' special sauce and make this thing a series. Alright, let's talk some baseball. The race for the bottom barrel of teams is on in the National League. The Cardinals, Giants, Reds, Marlins, Phillies, and Brewers are all within 2 games of each other for the final 4 postseason spots. This battle of 500 or worse teams might be an example of how awful this new postseason setup is, but god damn it, it makes for some exciting baseball this weekend. And we all know the MLB can use as much excitement as it can get. Let's start with the bottom of this dog pile. The Phillies have their hands full with the American League leading Tampa Bay Rays for their final series. The Rays' number 1 seed is at jeopardy if they were to get swept, so I don't see them making it easy for the Phils. Meanwhile, the Phillies are fighting for their postseason life and Matt Klentak's job, so I expect them to give it everything they got. Even if they somehow pull it off, I don't think the Phillies or Matt Klentak deserve the playoffs this year, but that's a discussion for another day. Another similar feat is the Giants playing the Padres. The Padres have no chance of getting the 1 seed in the NL, but could fall down to 3 or 4, so I think they're going to give it to the Giants, who are a far worse team. Take that, Kapler. The Marlins face a Yankees team that is getting hot and healthy and looking to enter the playoffs on a roll, so I wouldn't have faith in them either. Same goes for the Reds, who face a solid Twins team. The most interesting series by far is the 5th place Cardinals playing the 10th place Brewers. Only 2 games separate these teams, with all the aforementioned scrubs in between them. If the Brewers do some damage, this could really shake a lot of things up. In the end, I have no idea who's going to come out and at what place they're going to be in. All I know is we have interesting baseball at the end of the season, and how much more can you really ask for? Finally, the last major topic I want to talk about is the Breonna Taylor court case decision. There were no criminal charges of the 3 officers involved in the murder of Breonna Taylor. One officer was charged with wanton endangerment, which basically means he engaged in behavior that could bring danger, harm, or death upon the people around him, which in this case was Taylor's neighbors. Athletes across the sports world, including LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, and many more, expressed that they were disappointed but not surprised. But I'll get more into that later. For now, let's talk football. I'll start with my 2 locks of the week. First, the Raiders are going into Foxborough high off their first ever win in Las Vegas over the Saints. But it's going to be the Patriots doing the winnings in Vegas. Because if they win, you're going to make money if you bet on them. Cam Newton has been the perfect fit to start this season for the Pats, and his dual threat ability will be too much for the Raiders' defense, while Stephon Gilmore and the Pats' defense will find a way to slow down Darren Waller and that John Gruden offense. Patriots -6, that's a lock. Next, the abysmal, pathetic, sad little Jets are traveling to Indy this week to meet up with Old Man Rivers. And let me tell you, he's going to teach Sam Darnold a lesson. Probably about keeping his tongue in his mouth, but also about football. Colts -11. Probably not going to make a ton of money from this, but you feel good about yourself. That's a lock. Time for the dogs. The 49ers are looking like real-life 49ers with all the injuries they've taken on. Because 49ers, they were minors, and it was dangerous. No one has died, though, yet, that we know of. Even without superhuman Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley. Even without superhuman Saquon Barkley, I see the Giants pulling off an upset here. Without the pressure of Nick Bosa in his face, Danny Dimes will have time to pick apart this shattered Niners defense, and their offense is full of second stringers who probably haven't had time to quite gel yet. Giants +4, that's an upset. Now the Texas team that everyone doesn't hate is headed to the Steel City to take on Juju Smith-Schuster and his anime army. I mean the Steelers. The Texans are off to an 0-2 start, but I think they'll turn it around this week. The Steelers have a very good defense and will probably neutralize David Johnson, but I see Deshaun Watson taking advantage of a lackluster game from Big Ben and will lead them to an ugly but close victory. I'll take the Texans +4 in a game that will most likely go down to the wire. Finally, my screw it pick of the week. The game America has been waiting for. The potential AFC Championship game preview between the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and the MVP Lamar Jackson leading Baltimore Ravens. Not unless the Patriots make it back again. Shut up! Get out of here. That's enough of you. I honestly have no idea who's going to win this one. I mean, it's unstoppable force meets a movable object. It's tornado meets volcano. It's Batman v Superman. Martha! To be boring and follow the masses, I'm going to stick with Vegas and take the Ravens -3.5. The Chiefs were pushed to overtime by rookie-led Chargers, and Lamar Jackson shows no signs of stopping his NFL tear. It could go either way, but I'm going to trust my gut and take the Ravens. Those are my NFL picks, and you can trust me because I got glasses on. Those were not fake. Those are prescription. I now can't see. Now, I wanted to start my rants talking about the pit of misery, despair, and destruction that is Philadelphia sports. but something way more pressing has been on my mind. And while it may help me lose some of my 3 followers that I have, I need to talk about the Breonna Taylor ruling. I'll start by saying the fact that a woman who was sleeping in her apartment, who was an EMT, a daughter, and a human, was killed, and that one person responsible for the murder is facing justice. The only charge was for possibly endangering her neighbors with the amount of gunfire. So the bullets that went into Breonna Taylor's body were legally backed. But the ones that went into the drywall of her apartment, those were too far. It just doesn't make sense. And I want everyone who sees this to understand that LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, Maria Taylor, Jalen Rose, every athlete or media personality who brings up these issues, they're not doing so because they're spoiled or selfish or trying to push their own political agenda, because it's not a political issue. This is a black life, an American life, and a human life that they're watching be treated without the respect and dignity that it deserves. These athletes are trying to recognize the platform and the voice that they have, and they're trying to use it to create positive change, to do everything they can to make sure that no life, black, white, or anything in between, is unjustly taken by the people meant to protect them ever again. And that's why I'm using my platform. Though it may be small, consisting mostly of this webcam and my brother who's listening upstairs, to voice my anger and disappointment. Talking about sports and telling dumb jokes are what I love to do the most, and what I hope to do professionally for a very long time. But I can't just sit here and be silent when injustice is right in front of me, and neither should you. If you like this video, the whole video, or maybe just the first part, feel free to go register to vote, have awkward conversations with your family and friends about race, read articles on both sides of the spectrum about a certain issue, go support local and black-owned businesses, eat a bagel. If you've done all of that, then feel free to subscribe here. I might be posting more videos, I might not. Who really knows anymore? I just work here, man.